Sad news for a lot of people who follow Corey Hardrict and Tia Mowry on social media and know what a family they have. Their divorce has been finalized.
Oh my God. I can't.
The terms of the divorce were only recently hammered out, and it came a full 6 months after they initially split. But Corey's pretty salty about the whole thing, because he's not continuing to profit from Tia's fortune. When the Sister star first filed for divorce, Corey actually had the nerve to attempt to challenge the prenuptial agreement they'd signed before getting hitched, and he tried to make her pay spousal support to him. That plan didn't work out so well for him, and the money he thought he deserved is going to stay with its rightful owner and earner, Tia. Tia's been spreading the word that the divorce is the best thing that could have happened to her family, and how it's opened her eyes. Corey is reportedly really ticked, because he mistakenly assumed he'd be awarded millions of dollars from Tia to live on. What sort of shady information is now coming out about Tia and Corey's divorce? Let's get into it. On October 4, 2022, Tia announced divorce from her husband of 14 years, Corey Hardrict, on social media. She wrote, "These decisions are never easy, and not without sadness. I'm grateful for all the happy times we had together and want to thank my friends, family, and fans for your love and support as we start this new chapter moving forward in our lives." She also said that they'd remain friends and continue to co-parent their children Cree, 11 years old, and Cairo, 4 years old. She never gave a reason for why she filed for divorce, but the rumor mill of course started churning with speculations that Hardrict had cheated on her. But Corey refuted those rumors. Here, he replied to a commenter who had said he cheated. Then the narrative shifted a bit, and Tia began insinuating that she left Corey because he was only concerned with one thing: her money. Tia liked and commented on this video from Lee Hammock, who is a motivational speaker who primarily makes content on Instagram about narcissistic partners. The caption says, "Some toxic people will refuse to contribute around the home in any way. #toxic, #toxic partner." The comment that she left with the eyes emoji was pretty telling. It's like she's telling us all that this video opened her eyes to the reality of her own situation. But no matter what the reason for it, Tia's remained steadfast in her resolve not to speak negatively about Corey publicly. And although her marriage ended, she said in this interview that she doesn't think of it as a failure.
Yes, I feel like when I started to, again, like I said, focus on myself, but there was this sadness. And I knew that life is short. I had actually, lost my grandmother. We had lost Elena Housley, and both of them at the same time. There was just an aha moment in me where I said, you know what? You need to tap in, see what's really going on with your happiness. Life is short. Let's go. Let's start working on you and really focusing on what really matters here, which is, at the end of the day, your peace, your joy, and your happiness.
Tia did a pretty good job of fronting to the world that the divorce was amicable for a while, but then the ugly truth finally revealed itself to the world. In 2008, Corey and Tia signed a prenup that declared that neither of them would seek spousal support from the other in the event that they divorced. But when she filed for divorce, Corey decided he wasn't okay with the terms of the prenup anymore and decided to challenge them. Tia cited irreconcilable differences as the cause of divorce, and Corey denied that. On the papers he filed, he made sure to tick the box that said he wanted to terminate her right to spousal support, but mysteriously left the boxes for whether he wanted to receive spousal support unchecked. That means he was looking for her to keep financially supporting him, even after they split. His lawyer also asked the court to determine the validity of the prenuptial agreement and/or that any provisions are unconscionable. So not only did he want to find out whether the whole thing could be thrown out, he wanted to know if he could get any sections of the agreement declared unconscionable and thrown out on those grounds. It's notoriously difficult to invalidate a prenup because you sign it and agree to it yourself. You'd have to prove that you were forced to sign it somehow or that you did so under duress. That means threats, getting beat up or restrained, or other actions that someone could take to make someone do something against their will. But the fact that Corey definitely didn't sign the prenup under duress and still wanted to try to challenge the agreement and get spousal support anyway says a lot about what he really wanted, and maybe why the divorce occurred in the first place. In the long run, he didn't get his spousal support. She got to keep her $4.3 million home and isn't being ordered to pay spousal support or child support. Tia also took the opportunity to use the divorce to create some rules pertaining to how and when they're allowed to introduce their kids to future partners. Each party is restrained from introducing the minor children to a new romantic partner until the party has been in an exclusive relationship with the romantic partner for at least 6 months. It goes on to say that they're not allowed to talk bad about each other in front of their kids, and that each of their respective families has to observe that rule too. We're not sure how you keep grandma from talking smack about anyone after a few glasses of eggnog at the family Christmas party, but this clause is actually pretty classy. We can all agree that it's never good for exes to talk bad about their former partners in front of their kids. Tia's kids are evidently a driving factor behind her decision to file for divorce.
You know what I mean? It's all about just protecting my children, but not only protecting my children, but being an example for them. I think that's what's most important. Because children learn through observation. And if they can see that mommy works hard and she goes after her dreams, her goals, her aspirations, she works hard, she stays around positive people who influence her and who lifts her up, you can really do anything.
What she's saying, without saying here, is that her marriage with Corey had to be pretty bad if she's able to publicly state that divorce was the best gift she could give to their kids. When you think about it that way, it must have been pretty bad. And maybe she was lucky that she was brave enough to make the moves to get out of that situation, because a lot of people don't. Corey, on the other hand, even though he was pretty outspoken in making moves in the courts, trying to get the prenup tossed out, he's not publicly stating anything about the fact that his scheme didn't work. But insiders close to him say he's pretty upset that the settlement didn't go the way he thought it would. According to them, he feels like he was entitled to some of her money. We can't really validate his thoughts on this. She met Corey on a bus stop. He didn't come from anything and he didn't have anything. But she helped build him and his career up and supported him emotionally and financially the whole time. And before the divorce, Corey was all the time talking about how grateful he was that Tia gave him a chance even though he didn't have anything when they got together. He said he didn't feel bad about not being the breadwinner of the family because he was able to support her in other aspects of her life. It's pretty easy to put the dots together and see why he changed his story so fast after Tia filed for divorce from him. He wanted to continue living that lifestyle he got accustomed to while he was married to Mowry, and keep spending her money. There might have even been a bit of spite in there too. After all, this is divorce we're talking about here, and it's not that uncommon for one of the parties to be a little salty about it. What do you think about all this? Was money the real reason that Tia walked away from her marriage? Tell us what you think in the comments below and be sure to watch our next video.